Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Thank you, Andy Hart. So good to be back, Steeler Nation. Welcome to another episode of Steelers Realm Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, JT, and we got a great panel for you tonight. Joining us back again is the hijacker and my man, Kitch. What's going on, boys? Boy, we went through hell last night. But anyhow, welcome back for the pregame show. We talk about the Cowboys Steelers games and our thoughts and feelings and sympathies and whatnot. So looking forward to get into it. Hijacker, how's it going, buddy?
Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
You doing good after that game?
Yeah,
Tough loss.
We've had about 18 hours to sulk. What about you, Kitch?
I'm still a little salty. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. Not gonna lie. Here's what happens. It just that it sets in more, and it gives us a chance to dive into it more. And even sulk further. But it's not going to be a bitch fest tonight. We certainly have some things we want to point out, but, you know, we'll get into the outcome of the game, you know, break down some of the key things that we thought, led to the loss, including, good defense, turnover battles, big plays. It just goes on and on. But, yeah. Some surprises we saw there, but let's kind of get into it. First of all, let's go around the horn and just, now it's been 18 hours or so later. Thoughts on the overview of the game and like your 30-second thought, hijacker.
Yeah. So I thought the offense really struggled in the game. I didn't like what I saw. Fields kept throwing these line drives. I don't know what was going on. At least our defense had some turnovers, even though they kind of blew it for us at the end, but I thought that was more so because they're on the field the whole game. Yeah. What about you, Kitch?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat with it. I noticed the lack of touch on Fields' throws tonight, and then you throw up on top of that, like the one throw that had any sort of like decent touch and solid accuracy on it was thrown by our third stringer, Kyle Allen. Which, by the way, hey, at least Muth got involved. I can be happy about that. I've been complaining about that all year. Just a little bit. Maybe not as bad as like say Freight Train is about Fields, but I've been pretty upset with the lack of use about Muth. But yeah, this game was just utterly painful for me to watch. Like, if there's one team we're gonna pull off some last minute, like Falcons level lose the game stuff, why did it have to be Dallas?
Of course.
God, I hate Dallas.
Well, what was McCarthy's record against us last
in the regular season? It was 0-6.
Over.
Wow.
0-6 regular season. That was the first
Not
time he's ever
anymore.
beat us in the reg.
And it was prime time and at home. And Renegade was blaring, and they even Collinsworth had to acknowledge it. So
yeah, tough loss.
Biggest takeaway for me on this was I thought, and we'll get into this, but I thought Fields regressed some this game. B, somebody's blowing my phone up. Sorry. B, the defense was, like you said, they were out there way too much. That's because we couldn't put together any kind of sustained drives, 3s and outs and everything. Oh, stop, will you? Jeez. So, those combined with one of my biggest pet peeves of the night was stop them, do decent on first down, do decent on second down. And what do? They just power through 3rd and short. It was a run. I have 17 pages of every single play. And I wish I'd had time to go through this, but I guarantee you, and I agree with Trey Essex agrees with me even on Twitter. We talked about this, chatted about it, and both agreed that that was a major problem. These third and shorts, how many times, like the stats, in a way, I mean, when you look at 100 yards, 108 yards or whatever they put up, and it wasn't like they ripped off huge chunks. They ripped off a few nice runs, but it was like effective. They got the 3 or 4 yards when they needed to, almost like every single time. It's like, my God, get off the field, got to make a stop. And it just continued the whole night up and down the field. Now, several times they held, several times there were turnovers, but that was the biggest disappointment with me. They just couldn't get off the field on third down.
Yep, they were 55% on third down, so it was just we struggled to get them off the field.
Yeah. Do you have what our third down conversion rate was?
Yeah, ours was
Oh,
like
it's
13%.
pitiful.
Yeah.
It was pitiful.
Was it
Well, I mean, whenever you have plays,
12.2% or something?
13%.
Oh, there you go. That was just a
what-
wild guess, dude. I didn't even see that.
yeah, whenever you have plays called on 3rd and 8, like that, like pitch to that Shamklin or whoever, I keep forgetting the dude's name.
I don't know his
But-
name either.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Shamklin.
Yeah, but like games on the line, it's 3rd and 8. You run a pitch to a nobody?
I don't even think that play went to the sticks on that. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess on a more positive note, hey, I just saw this here in the comments. I'd like to welcome in Mean Green. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Been a fan, long time, whole way dating back to 1975. That's awesome. Great to have you on the show.
That's good. Great story. Mean Green. I was in that area. My first experience to the Steelers, since you brought it up, was in the car on the snowy. I was like Christmas, snowy day. My dad's listening to something on the radio, and all of a sudden he pulls over, and he's like, he's got these tears in his eyes and of joy, and like, what's going on? I knew something big was going on here. As it turned out, that was the Immaculate Reception.
Oh, that's awesome.
Been a fan ever since that. I don't know if I ever told
Hey,
you that.
who can blame you? No, you didn't, dude. Who can blame you? That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Hey, that yeah.
Yeah, we were in the car going somewhere for Christmas. Might have been dinner. I'm not sure it was, but it was the Immaculate Reception. As I learned, I didn't even realize it years later, but we started watching games together and still do when we can. So yeah, man, a lot of fun. So, Cowboys was a lot of Cowboys games in those early years. It meant a lot too. Back in the days of
Super Bowl
Tom
matchup.
Landry and Chuck Noll, they did a nice little side by side for them in the pregame too. But anyhow, let's dive into the juice, man. And again, appreciate it, Mean Green. Appreciate you jumping on. We're a little early for some of our regulars, so I'm sure they'll be joining in, Chris, DJ, and company. By the way, if anybody sees our Amish friend out there, Jeremiah, make sure to tell him to check in with us, man. We haven't heard from him for a while, so want to get on that. And before we jump into it, though, quick note: our swag shop is still in the process. We got kind of sidetracked on something, and so we'll keep you posted on that. But just to give you an update on what's going on the swag shop. So anyhow, yeah. So we let's talk about the defense first, I guess. Turnovers. I mean, who could have asked for more in means of turnovers? Even my man Loudermilk in on the action.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was his number was called a couple times. So he was pretty active. Yeah, blocked the field goal. TJ, congratulations. 100 sacks. He's what now? 100.5, right?
Yep. And he is the second fastest to do it. 109 games, only behind the late great Reggie White. That's incredible. Congrats to TJ.
Yeah, that's some good company there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so This was another concern as he went out later in the game. But Herbig had the other half of that sack and a tackle for loss and was just wrecking havoc.
He's been a
good
game
before.
wrecker till he went down. After he went down, our defense started struggling again.
What we had to move a defensive tackle out there to the edge or whatever. We're just
like a practice squad guy we ended up signing to be a roster filler. Like we had that Jeremiah Moon out there, and he might as well have been invisible.
I know he didn't impress you much, Kitch.
No, I was pretty upset watching the guy. I mean, seeing like there wasn't much fall off between Highsmith and Herbig, and then you bring that guy in, and you might as well just play with 10 men.
So, shout out to TA and Freight Train, by the way. They're off tonight. Freight Train's still finishing up in his conductor training, man, and that's no shit. He really is. Hey, my man, Andy. What's going on?
Hey, Andy.
These late night games suck for an early morning DJ. No doubt. I think, Kitch, you had to get up early to open, man. Andy was in there. He'd been in there for 6 hours already.
Oh, that's rough, man. I was practically sleepwalking doing that. Good luck. Props to you, Andy Hart. I couldn't do that, dude. You probably didn't even sleep.
Probably didn't get too many hours anyhow. Yeah, we used to go in there, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. God.
Yeah, damn.
I mean, he's still doing it.
Credit where credit's due on him doing that. I can't do that.
Me neither.
I am not a morning person to begin with, but you asked me to roll out of bed at 4 a.m. and it's like, nah, I ain't doing that.
No, I remember doing Sunday morning shows, man. That was brutal. After Saturday night wedding receptions, getting home at 2 a.m., putting all the shit away in a 12-hour wedding gig. Yeah, those were rough days. Days. But anyhow, thanks for joining, dude. By the way, if you don't know Andy, you will. You hear him every podcast. He is the voice behind a great promo video and the voice behind Steelers Run podcast. Thank you, brother, all you do. And tune into his show, Cat Country 103.1 there in the Indiana area. Check him out. Tell him you heard about him on Steelers Run podcast. Give us some kudos out there. Anyhow, let's continue with the defense too. Speaking of Freight Train, he would have been jumping for joy with JPJ with that pick, and Jackson with a pick too.
Yep, that one saved a touchdown. Well,
I got you wrong, buddy. 106.3 on the FM dial. Thank you, brother. I've been out of the station too long. Oh man. So yeah, despite that, and God, what was the stats on Dak passing? The passing coverage was just as rough watching as watching the run defense. They smash-mouthed us.
Yeah, it was pretty backwards.
Yeah, it was, for a defense that supposedly wasn't all that good and an offense that was struggling to put up points and blah, blah, blah. We sure made them look good. Or did they make us look bad? What do you think?
I guess one of the reasons I'm most salty about our defense is, I know this is skipping ahead just a little bit, but I mean, we're going to go back to it. I was one goal line stand away from my exact score prediction being correct.
You were.
That's another reason I'm a little upset about this. Like, come on, boys. You get a chance to cement yourself as the top defense in the league this year, and you blow it.
You weren't expecting the delay there. That's what threw you off, right?
Wait, what? The delay for the game?
Rain delay threw you off?
No. That just made me really, really pissed off going into the game because I knew I had to be up early.
I had to stay up an hour late for this.
Yeah. Like, it's all coming down to this. If they get it, this whole thing will be worth it. And then I see this happen. I'm like, I just turned off TV, man. I'm like, nah.
Well,
nah.
As the day progressed, Kitch kept checking off things. Well, that doesn't make me feel any better about this. And then this, and then the delay. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, great. That's just, one more thing on my list of why I'm like not feeling good thoughts. Any development on the Devontae Adams situation? Do you think the Steelers will be pursuing him? Also, is he a receiver addition what the Steelers are needing? Well, that's a big talk of social media now. I guess we can jump in on that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well,
I think it's ridiculous. I think they just need to go out and say, could you just take our names out of it? Like, we don't need that right now.
yeah.
They got a whole lot of other stuff that they got to worry about right now.
Well, just going by the rumor mill, I would say that I'm fairly certain the Steelers are attempting to pursue Devontae Adams, but I don't think it's what we need. Like, we are a lot more than a receiver away from, looking like a solid offensive unit. And like, yeah, sure, we'll have another guy that can get open, but who's going to protect the quarterback? Our O line is just like we're basically signing guys off the street at this point. It's getting bad. So like, and not only that, isn't Devontae Adams like 31, and like they're expecting a first round pick out of this guy, at least I would expect. And
second.
Well, still, I'm not going to throw a second round pick for a diva receiver that has complained his way out of every team he's been on. This is just like Ayuk, just much older.
Yep. Plus his contract's ridiculous, I believe.
Yeah, we ain't paying that.
Nah. Yeah. All that does is just adds more drama to an already dramatic receiving core. Since we're talking that, I mean, did you see the face mask at the end there? Out of his frustration, like.
Well, honestly, watching it and learning the context on it just by watching the body language of the Cowboys player, that Lewis, if that guy had been talking all sorts of smack leading up to the game and all through it. And yeah, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If somebody had gotten my face after a rough game like that, especially somebody that's been, talking all this crap all week, and they get in my face like that, I'd probably snap and throw him down by his face mask too. Good on Pickens.
So I saw a side note. Somebody on the sidelines was into him, was all over him, and the title was like, "Grow up." And I'm not sure who it was. I think it was somebody outside the organization though made a comment. Time to grow up. Got to grow up. But frustration, no doubt. Would another receiver help? Well, sure.
Absolutely.
It couldn't hurt.
I mean, look at Cincinnati yesterday. Finally have their receivers in place. But nonetheless, he's not Burrows either. Hey, Bob. Welcome in, buddy.
What's up, Bob?
Yeah, always good to see Bob back. Yeah, Pickens is just getting really frustrated out there. I mean, I don't think this is anything to worry about now, but if this keeps mounting through the season, we might have a bit extra drama out of our receiving room.
Yeah, I don't want to see it come to that.
Hopefully we can figure something out. But when it comes to things that need to be addressed and adjusted, as much as I I know I've made jokes about Tomlin and everything, but I really am a fan. That's probably why I'm so hard on the guy, honestly. But he doesn't get ahead of these locker room things until they boil over and become out of control. So I'm worried we will see that with Pickens at some point.
Oh, probably. I mean, you even saw frustration coming out of Calvin Austin, too.
Yeah. You gotta love that guy though. Like, he was out there like battling with dudes twice his size after the play, getting into scuffles.
Yeah,
he's a feisty little man.
Yeah, Austin's getting in there.
He's a true Steeler. You can tell he has the attitude.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, why don't we dig into Fields?
Oh, 404 JT not found.
Yeah, JT's hopping off. So, you want to talk about the offense then?
Yeah. So, like, not only was Fields regressing due to his inability to have any touch on the ball in this game, but like there were a lot of times that he wouldn't be looking downfield. He'd be looking at the rush. He would just make some pretty poor decisions. He missed a wide open Cal Austin on a crosser that would have been a touchdown. Instead, he threw a prayer ball down the sideline that should have been intercepted, and that was pretty early.
Yeah, there was just a lot of plays that were just off. Like, we had a lot of deep shots early in the game, and they were just going too far, or line drives going way too far. That's
Or the wrong guy. Yeah, I think JT had to relaunch his stream here, so he'll be back with us in a moment. But yeah, all in all, like, it was just a really unbalanced showing, poor play calling, poor execution. I don't think the defense really deserves as much flack as they got just because of how bad our offense was. Like, we saw times last year where our defense looked like it was a bunch of like sixth graders out there trying to cover people. But that's because they were so gassed from being on the field for such an absurd amount of time because Mitten's offense couldn't move. Justin Fields' offense isn't really looking any better right now. They looked pretty good in the second half last week, but one half of football in a whole season so far is not a good sign.
Yeah, the Cowboys had a couple 8-minute plus drives that really wore them out. I think there's one that went for like almost the whole third quarter, and then they come back out the fourth quarter and they're just all tired out, and they're
just grinding us out. Yeah. And that's how you win games on the road. Like, I hate Dallas so much, but I got to give them all the credit in the world for this one. They were the visitors. They went into a hostile environment, just ground us down with their run game, which honestly had no business doing what it did. I have no idea what the lapse was for us. Like, I don't know if it's our interior D line collapsing again, or if it's the linebackers. Might be a little bit of everything, but it was just a bad night all around in the run stopping.
I don't get it. They're supposed to. Their run game's not even that good. I don't understand what went wrong. Just our D line sucked, in terms of run defense, our linebackers. Queen did struggle. There's one play where it's like 3rd and 2 at like on that final drive that he had a chance to get the guy in the backfield for like a 2-yard loss, which could have saved the game, and he didn't make that tackle. I was just very disappointed in that play. It was just really pissed me off.
Yeah, he's I hate to say it, but Patrick Queen so far has been a dud of a signing.
I know. Yeah, when one of your linebackers is just struggling that badly, it's going to affect your run defense.
Yeah. But hey, back to Mean Green here. I agree. That shovel pass to Pat Freiermuth was like my favorite moment of that whole game. Like, that was sweet.
I know. That's like a vintage Chiefs play to Kelsey. Like, I just love that, seeing that.
Yep. What did I call that? Heath-esque.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He would say it was Heath-esque.
Heath-esque. Yeah, it definitely was. Ben to Heath, man. How many times do we see that over the years? Shovel pass. Oh, man. It's called perfect. Yeah. Recall the last game too. They had a nice little goal line play set up. And wasn't it? It was a while back. I think Warren ran. It was like a center dive or whatever. But they all kind of went towards him. The run and the hole opened up to the left, and Fields just rolled out of that and right into the end zone. So a little bit of creativity we see, but I mean overall. And then thanks for that, Mean Green. Good point. Overall, though, play calling. I mean, have we really dug into this much? Did we see a whole lot of flair? Or let me ask you guys this. Did they trust Justin Fields to open up the playbook to him? If there
Absolutely
is such a thing?
Not.
Huh?
They like if there is such a thing, which I am a little bit skeptical of because I have been very openly against Arthur Smith this whole time. I don't think they're giving him the full reins to it. I don't think they're giving him a full fair chance to keep the keys to the quarterback position. Like, they got to open up more for him, allow him to do more. But at the same time, it just seems like his ability to process an NFL defense is not fast enough for that. So I guess I can understand it to some extent.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're giving the full playbook. You know, I wish they'd let him do more audibles, let him change things up, because that can really help open up the offense and make us more efficient than what we saw last game against the Cowboys.
Here we go. First series last night. I'm gonna use one of these 17 pages anyhow before the night's over.
We got 17 pages to go. Let's hurry up.
Yeah, no. We're not gonna do that. Trust me. So 1st and 10 at the 25. Fields right end run out of bounds. Pit 33 for 8 yards. Okay, first play. Second play, Najee off left tackle to Pittsburgh 37 for 4 yards. Fields, 3rd down, pass incomplete, deep left to Connor Hayward. That was the long bomb.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
Hayward just barely missed that. It was sort of close, I guess. Sort of.
And then here we go again. 2nd and 10, Fields left end at Pitts 42 for 5 yards. Like in the first 4 plays, he's ran twice, and he was getting popped, dude.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of design runs in there. Oh, you see that? You remember the one play where he just got killed?
Oh yeah, and I don't know.
Thought he was done.
That was kind of
I thought he was done.
That dude like come in spearing him, and that was kind of bullshit if you ask me. But
yeah, like they even insisted, like, hey, let's just throw him into the medical tent. Honestly, I'm kind of glad they did because we got to see that nice throw from Kyle Allen to Muth.
Yeah,
get the big man some more touches. We'll be fine.
Right. Hey man, we watched him Friday Night Lights, and he was lighting it up. He had an arm like a fucking rocket, man. It was awesome. So, which kind of lost my train of thought there, but yeah. So anyhow, let's kind of wrap it up on that. We know what we saw. Our thoughts on that. Moving forward, though, here's the question, and it's out there already. And I posed this to Kitch last night. Was Russell Wilson, has he been healthy for a while now?
I think
and
so.
Was this still the Fields experiment? And C, part of this question is, we're going to see Russ against Vegas.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see Russ against Vegas. Just with the 2-game slide against teams that we should have beat, we should be 5-0 right now.
Could be.
Absolutely should be.
I'm not sure I'm ready to go that far, but okay, I respect that.
We've had a weak schedule to start the year, and if it wasn't for us shooting ourselves in the foot these past 2 games, we would have won. We would be 5-0, which we need every win we can get going into the gauntlet that is the end of our season. And screwing games up like this hurts. It may not hurt that bad for some now, but then they're going to look back and see like, oh man, we missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Well, let's face it. Well, the Browns are the Browns, but
the Browns are the Browns.
Let's face it.
That's 2 freebies.
The Bengals look much better, even though they lost. Baltimore, I mean, these guys aren't going away, and they're just getting better. And what are we doing?
Falling apart.
Games.
Not only lose offensive linemen now. Simalo was back for how long? I don't know. Did he play the whole game? Didn't hear otherwise, but probably.
No, Samalu was in, but at the beginning of the game, he was getting bullied.
He was in there, but he was like struggling. There was one play he got beat badly on.
Perfect. That's the point I wanted to make right there, is bullied. Cowboys came in with an attitude, and they laid the wood. And Pittsburgh got bullied in their own home and prime time against
their greatest historic rival.
Yeah. So Tomlin has to be, Steelers front office has to be, the ownership has to be seething over this. So like, what do we have to do? And it's still like, there's comments on social media like Pittsburgh needs a receiver. They're just dogging Pickens. You need a real receiver. So, hey, good point, Bob. Yeah. Little bright spot of the night. Wilson was kind of lighting it up. Well, we were talking about the other Wilson. Peyton Wilson, I thought, was all over the place. I think with some more discipline and more experience grows confidence. But he's got the talents. You can see that physicality in him, and he's fast.
Yeah, he had a nice tackle where he shed out a block.
Well, also addressing the Russell comment here, it is definitely a different animal lighting it up in practice versus the game, and I'm still skeptical about him. But as far as like an established passer, I would like to see Russell on the field just because I feel like he can process the defense better. Not knocking Fields, he might develop in our system.
Yeah,
I think he needs more time.
Yeah. I think so too. But you know what? Somebody brought up the point. They were like, a few of these quarterbacks, Mean Green brought him up too. Some of these young quarterbacks coming right out and just having great success, lighting it up. And
yeah, look at Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect example.
Yeah.
So why not? How many years now? How many years has he been in the league? 4?
Fields?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 4th year.
Well, some of granted, 3 of it was in Chicago.
He was with the Bears a year where they sucked.
Yeah.
So
he was in QB purgatory for 3 years. He's lucky to even survive that and have an NFL career. I mean, look at Mitch Trubisky. He had a high ceiling, and now he's like a perennial backup.
Right. But anyhow, getting back to your point, Kitch, is the fact that Russ is a more refined quarterback. Can he read these defenses better? Can they react quicker to what their defense is doing? Boy, it seemed like the Cowboys defense knew what was coming before it came, before the play happened.
Yeah, they were really well prepared.
And then the same on defense, I just thought we got out coached too in many ways. Same on defense. And they even brought this up in the broadcast too, on how they would okay, we're going to bring more guys up in the box to stop the run. What's he do? Play action, whoop, or a screen,
over the top.
Boom, boom. And just effective, they made plays when they had to. Now they didn't score every time they could have, but I mean, when blocked field goal, there's 3 points off the board. An interception in the end zone, there's 7 points, 6 points off. I mean, so
this game could have been way worse than it was.
It could have been. No doubt.
And honestly, I can't help but say, but if Micah Parsons and D-Law played, this might have been one of those 30-13 beatdowns.
Yeah, but back to the point about will Russ start next week? I don't think they'll go that far. I think they'll still give Fields another week because it's only one game, and he looked fine the other 4 games. I don't think they'll panic that quickly.
I haven't seen the spray chart, but I know there was at least one pass, and I think it was Austin over the middle. It was wide open, and he didn't even go there. It made me think that he's still leery about turning the ball over and taking those chances. Maybe he just doesn't have faith. I don't know.
I think he just didn't see him because the ball he threw instead on that play should have been intercepted. It was a streak that he underthrew.
Yeah,
it hit the Dallas corner right in the hands. And if that was DeRon Bland or Trayvon Diggs, that would have been a pick. That might have been a pick 6.
Yeah, it would have been gone.
Yeah. So, it remains to be seen. It's early. Tune in 12 o'clock tomorrow for the Tomlin press conference. I believe it's at noon tomorrow. But will we learn more?
Nope, just all the Tomlinisms.
All the Tomlinisms. That's it. Heard a new one today. I should have made a note of it. It was a good one. But
I'm just going to talk a bunch of nonsense and then go to tell Justin Fields, all right, man, let's go win slightly more than half of these games.
Right. We'll still find a few wins in the rest of these to get us to a winning season again.
Oh, yeah, that football purgatory at 9-8.
Yeah.
Inzerland rejoice.
Cleveland win another game.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, man.
That's another team that's just falling apart there.
Yeah, I think like if I looked at their schedule, I'm sure they're gonna find some poor bastard to surprise later on in the year. But I don't think they're really going to be like a consistent threat to win on any given basis.
No, don't appear. The Browns are the Browns once again.
The Browns is the Browns.
I'll tell you what, it would have been nice to see Cincinnati pull out a win because that would have brought things back. And even with the loss, we would still
we'd still have the lead in the North.
Yeah, we'd still have a game in hand.
Well, I think it might help us for the wild card positioning at least. Assuming the Bengals don't pull off another bull crap and make the playoffs somehow after being 1-4.
Well,
I mean, they probably can.
They can, but I hope not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course we hope not. But I mean, being realistic,
mathematically eliminated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be comfortable with Cincy until they're mathematically eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they can actually win playoff games, they're at least
they're scary now.
Well, and Burrow's healthy, and he got their two of their three receivers back anyhow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we shall see. So, anyhow, guys, onward to Vegas. Let's put this one in the books, and we'll head on to Vegas. We'll be previewing that game coming up this Thursday, and it is I have a schedule here.
I believe it's
4 o'clock game.
Yeah.
No, it's 1 o'clock game.
Oh, it's that makes sense. The Raiders are the Raiders.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not even that. So wait, I'll tell you. Since we brought it up, let me just go. We'll see.
No, it's a 4
o'clock. Okay. Well, that makes sense. All right, boys. Well, hey, man, thanks a bunch. Thanks for tuning in, Mean Green. Bob, good to see you guys. Big shout out. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see how this thing develops, man. It's always in motion, man. It's always dynamic. So careful in the hot tub. Steeler Nation, thanks for tuning in to Steelers Realm Podcast. Kitch and Hijacker, have a good rest of your week, man.
Good night.
All right, good night.
Great day off too, brother.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I need to catch up on some sleep after the debacle last night.
We'll see ya.
Check back next week into the Steelers Realm.